It is illustrated by Jan Brett. She did the pictures and she wrote the story. What do you think this story is going to be about? Animals.
Going in the glove.
Maybe into the mitten. Is it cold or warm in this story?
I'm itchy.
How do you know if it's cold, Jace?
Because there's snow.
Because there's snow. Can the snow stay around if it's warm? Let's read and find out. The mitten.
Oh no.
Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool white as snow. At first, his grandmother Baba did not want to knit the mittens. If you drop them in the snow, she warned, you'll never find them. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. Why will he not be able to find them if he drops them in the snow?
White.
Because they're white, they're the same color.
And the snow is white.
After she finished, she said, when you come home, I'm going to ask if you are safe and sound. But then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until his new mitten dropped in the snow and was left behind.
It was in the snow and it wasn't sinking because it wasn't heavy.
It was not heavy. It laid right on the top. Good observation, Jace. It laid right on top of the snow. And if it was heavy,
I see a
it would
mouse.
sneak. A mouse? You think it does kind of look like a mouse. Does anybody know what that animal is?
A bear.
Mhm.
A sloth.
It has really wide hands.
A
and
sloth.
long
I
claws.
know. Oh
A sloth, or maybe a mole. Let's read and find out. A mole, tired from tumbling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size. So he decided to stay in.
I see a bunny. How is he fitting in I see a bunny too. Because he's little.
No, he is little. What animal's coming next?
Bunny. Bunny.
A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then when he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. So now there's a mole and a rabbit inside the mitten.
Well, I know what Daddy. I know what's going on there. I see an owl. Too many guys, then it's gonna break.
Oh, I don't know.
I
We'll
see
have to
an
see.
owl.
Next, a hedgehog. This is the hedgehog. Came snuffling by. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves, he decided to move into the mitten and make himself warm. The mole, the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not one to argue with someone. Oh, I'm sorry, Jace. I'll turn it this way so everybody can see. When someone covered with prickles, so they made room. Because hedgehogs have these little prickles on them.
I see a
What's happening to the mitten?
It's growing.
It is getting larger and larger. So is it stretching?
Yeah.
It is.
The mitten was small and those small, so the fitting.
You're right, Amari, so it's starting to get bigger. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. Then he decided he also wanted to go in the mitten. The rabbit, the hedgehog, the mole, they all grumbled. But when they saw his talons, they quickly let him in. Talons are the toenail of the bird.
That's why he needs to click them.
Up through the snow appeared a badger.
Owls don't know how to.
This is what a badger looks like.
Oh.
He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl were not pleased. There was no room left. But when they saw his big diggers, They quickly gave him the thumb, saying, thumbs up, come on in. Look at this mitten. Do you guys think Jace's prediction is right? What do you think's gonna happen?
It's gonna break.
It break.
I said that.
It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A warm waft of air rose, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Investigate means he just was looking around to see what's going on. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they quickly gave him lots of room.
It's getting a quick bumpy.
It is getting really bumpy because all those animals are in there, Julia, right?
A bear in there.
A great big bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way through. The animals were packed tightly as they could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? Do you think that bear's gonna fit?
No. It would break.
Well,
It's
guess
too
what?
big.
He made it in.
What?
Could you believe the mitten could stretch that big?
It's gonna rip it more. It's gonna rip on the next page.
Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled right onto the one space that was left, on top of the bear's nose.
Then it has to go on the butt.
The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Oh, achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions.
Now they're never gonna be more. Now they're flying.
Uh-oh.
They're flying. They didn't like it. They didn't like it when it flew.
Look at the mitten. Is it the same size?
Yeah.
Why is it so much
He's running
bigger?
after it. He's going after it.
Who's going after it?
The guy.
Do you guys remember his name?
What?
Nicky.
Anything.
On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was his lost mitten, silhouetted in the sky.
He tried to get it.
As he ran to catch it, his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. She first looked to see if he was safe and sound. Then she saw he still had his snow white mittens.
Yeah.
But look, what's different about them?
It's ripped.
It's ripped. And what else do you see that's different?
The other one's not.
The other one's not. Are they the same size? No, the one with all the animals is much, much bigger. See, Baba looks very confused. Like, what happened to your